Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do June's plan with me, and I decided to make this month's theme gummy bears. June is always a fun month for me to fill out in my bullet journal because I notice I often choose a theme that's very colorful and summery, because every year at this time I get really excited for the warm weather and summer activities to look forward to, so I find that I often represent my excitement through my June themes, which isn't necessarily intentional. I just clearly can't help myself. So this year is no different, as I'm choosing to go with this sort of pastel rainbow color palette for the gummy bears. I know some of these colors I chose are not really considered gummy bear colors or flavors, but choosing realistically didn't match my pastel vision, so we're just going with it. I know I wanted to go with bubble letters for my lettering, and while I was looking for inspiration, I found this pretty thick bubble style with this sort of swirl whenever there's a half circle on a letter. It was sort of giving candy vibes to me, which is exactly what I was going for, and I decided to just keep the font white on the inside, outlined by my Pigma Micron in 01. It was a bit uncomfy for me at first because something in me really wanted to color inside those letters, but I do think it was the smarter choice because I already know there's going to be a lot of color going on this month, and I think it's a nice contrast because I obviously want the gummy bears to be the star of the show, and it helps you pay attention to those a little more and not distract you with some big colorful lettering. I recently bought this 5mm washi tape from Kinokuniya that had some colorful bears on it that really reminded me of gummy bears, so I had to use it immediately for this month, obviously. I don't usually buy 5mm tape because it's so thin and you have to look so close to see the detail. Like, even in this video, I feel like you can't really see it super well, but now I'm really happy to have this in my collection, and then I'm able to add it as a little detail for the spreads this month. For now, with the title page, I'm pairing this tape with some mint green diagonal stripe tape. This tape is 15mm, I believe, and I didn't like how it looked with that size, so I cut it in half to make it more similar to the size of the bear tape. Moving on, I know I've said in the past that I like to do a quote or calendar on the page next to my title page, which is true, but for the first time this month, I did neither. Similarly to my vintage strawberry theme in April, I couldn't find a quote that wasn't too corny for me, having to do with gummy bears, and honestly, I just didn't feel like doing a calendar. So I decided to just illustrate this gummy bear packet that I'm calling June Gummies with the bears scattered around. I'm going to be using this packet illustration later, so I also thought it would blend nicely with the later spreads. I'm also going to use this bluish purplish shade that I'm using to color in the packet throughout this month, so I wanted that to make sense as well. And if you're thinking right now it's not that serious, you're probably right, but unfortunately it can be like that for me sometimes. Next is my habit tracker. I'm going to be using the same bubble lettering as the cover page to write habits. And I had this desire to only do 2 habits per row this month because I had this vision of putting the gummy bear doodles on the sides of the page. So that technically means I'm tracking 1 less habit than I typically do, but I'm okay to sacrifice that this month for a habit I already know I'm pretty good at. I'm making the calendars kind of bubble-like as well, and to mark each habit, I'm going to draw a dot in the order of the colors of the rainbow. And by that I mean in the order of the gummy bear colors on the cover page. I actually don't think I've ever used multiple colors when marking habits, and I want to experiment with it to see if it will help me want to complete them more, knowing I can make a bunch of rainbow calendars by the end of the month if I work at it. And speaking of colors from the cover page, I did decide to switch out the yellow markers. The yellow on the cover page was looking way too light for me, and I think this brighter yellow that I use on this page works a lot better, so I'll be using that yellow for the rest of the spreads. Oh yeah, and as you can see, I'm using that bluish purplish shade as the header for each calendar. For the mood tracker, I took inspiration from a picture that came up on Pinterest from an artist on Redbubble, so thank you to them for the very cute packaging design idea. This inspired me to continue using rainbows and stars throughout some of these spreads as well, which I think goes well with this happy and bright theme. Of course, I'm using that same color that I used for the packet on the first page, except this time, this is our mood packets, and we won't be coloring in the bears because I will color in each bear with whatever color mood I'm feeling for the day. This was definitely a bit of a puzzle putting together to make sure I had 30 bears total. So I outlined each bear with a very light tan color with my Stabilo fine tip so I can know where to color in. Once I go over it with one of the markers, you shouldn't be able to see the tan color anymore, which is what I'm going for. Really quick right here, I just colored in the background of each bear with this sort of peachy shade because I don't think it made sense to leave that white. And this will also help me with not accidentally coloring in with a bright color when it actually is not part of the bear's body. And it's kind of hard to tell with this bear puzzle I've got going on. For the gratitude page, I was stuck for a hot minute because I knew I didn't have enough room to use the bubble lettering I had been using for the titles because gratitude is too long of a word and these bubbles are so large. So I decided that I would draw another rainbow with the word gratitude around it, just in this all capital lettering. I had already been using this all capital lettering throughout the spread, so it didn't feel super random to me and it fit perfectly around the rainbow. I saw this adorable illustration of this tower of gummy bears wobbling on Pinterest that I wanted to draw on the right side of the page. And then I just numbered 1 through 30 on the left side where I will write one thing that I was grateful for every day. My last page that I'll be sharing is my summer playlist spread. I was trying to think of what I could draw as the header illustration to make the 2 pages go together nicely, and it suddenly hit me that we often see gummy bears as toppings at frozen yogurt shops, which is obviously perfect seeing as this is going to be a summery spread. So I drew a little scooper, scooping little gummy bears into a bowl of frozen yogurt, and I thought it'd be cute to kind of have them spilling out. You'll eventually see I'm also going to add some music notes, stars, and the same washi tape designs I used on the cover page. As for the playlist, you should know I'm a pop girly through and through, so that's what most of these songs I've listed are. These are songs that either scream summer to me or just remind me of a specific summer. I try really hard to keep up with new music in the pop genre at least, but I still always feel like I'm behind or that there are just so many good artists out there that I'm missing. So if you've made it this far, please let me know if there is a pop artist I should be listening to that you don't see on here, or you can tell me what is one song you would put on your summer playlist. I know I missed so many and I still have a little bit of room to add, so leave a comment down below telling me your favorite pop artist and or what your favorite summer song is. That way I'll know who made it all the way to the end of the video. Here is the full flip through of June's gummy bear theme. I actually love how this turned out. It's just very happy looking, and I love that. I hope you guys like it too. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!